Well, once again, the holiday season is among us. We just had Thanksgiving. Christmas is on its way within a month. And people are now buying Christmas trees, decorating the house, doing their shopping. And, well, I'm almost done with my shopping. I like to start early because, you know, that way I could have a little extra money. How's it going, old schoolers? You are kicking it old school with Russell J.S. And I am your host, Russell J.S. I am going to show you a new electronic handheld video game system that I had recently purchased at my local shopping mall. Which I had been told, the stuff that has more than 30 games are considered bootlegs, but this was well worth it. Sure, it's not licensed by Nintendo like that replica I have of the NES Classic. But this one in particular, it's made in China. I found it in my local shopping mall for $45. But before we get in, I want to, encourage you to leave a like, subscribe, leave comments in the box down below. Give me your feedback on what you think of my discoveries. And before we begin, I also have recommendations for a movie. Recently, I had gone ahead and watched Spinning Gold, the story of Casablanca Records and Neil Bogart, how he left Buddha Records in the early 70s to form his own record label known as Casablanca, which would sign major acts that today are iconic. Some of them are still around, others, they've passed away or they've split up, and, some of them are still touring. As a matter of fact, one of them is on their so-called End of the Road tour. If you guessed it, yeah, Kiss. Of course, it's not the original four members like when Neil Bogart signed Kiss back in 73. They've got those two other dorks on lead guitar and drums, wearing the makeup of Ace Frehley and Eric Singer. I'm talking about Peter Criss. I'm talking about Tommy Thayer and Eric Singer. Don't get me wrong. I know there's a lot of you fans out there who really like Tommy Thayer and Eric Singer. I could say I'd be a fan if they had their own personas and their own style, but or if the whole band would have just taken the makeup off like they've done before 20 years ago. But unfortunately, I can't agree with the idea of two other guys wearing those personas. But it's a really good story about how Neil Bogart founded Casablanca Records, and he signed such acts as Donna Summer, Isley Brothers, Parliament Funkadelic, Bill Withers, and of course, the first act that he signed to the label was Kiss. Thing is, you get a look at the two guys playing Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley. They kind of look like them in a way. I'm not going to give anything away, but when you see the actor who plays Paul Stanley without makeup, he actually looks like a taller version of the late great Eric Carr. And I don't like the way they did the makeup designs. You have to see the movie to get it, if you're a huge Kiss fan like I am. The only member of the band that looked as if he had the right makeup design was the guy who played Ace Frehley. And I think the reason being is because, considering Gene and Paul, they've got to, in order to use any kind of imagery of Kiss, any real imagery, you better fork over the dollars. You better bring two wheelbarrows full of $100 bills their way, because you know how they are. And of course, Ace Frehley, well, from my understanding, he owns the rights to his makeup design, and he licenses it to the band so that Tommy Thayer can wear that design. I don't know. I don't get into the politics of it anymore. I'm over it. But in many ways, heck it. Kiss, supposedly they're on their second farewell tour, but they said that before. I mean, I'm waiting for the autobiographies the new autobiographies by Gene and Paul to come out, and we find out, okay, what's wrong with Tommy Thayer and Eric Singer. And another recommendation, it's a book right here by Noel E. Monk called Running with the Devil. He was the tour manager for Van Halen when Van Halen got signed to Warner Brothers Records. He went on tour with the band from 1978 after he got off a really bad, really bad North American tour with the Sex Pistols. Warner Brothers went ahead and signed Van Halen to the label, and he got to go ahead and be Van Halen's tour manager. And this book right here, it tells all the stories about the debauchery of what it's like to be in Van Halen from 1978 to 1984. And it's a really good book. I highly recommend it if you are a big Van Halen fan of that era of the band. I highly recommend you check this out. And now, for the main event, I was telling you about another handheld I picked up, and this one for $45. This one is called the SUP Game Box. 400 video games in one of all old Nintendos, and a lot of which are, arcade stuff that Nintendo didn't put out, here in the States, like Pac-Man and Joust and Dig Dug and Q*bert. But, you got Donkey Kong Jr., Donkey Kong 3, Donkey Kong Jr. Math, you got Popeye, you got original Mario Brothers, you got Super Mario Brothers on there. You even have a Goonies game based off the movie, not Goonies 2, but The Goonies, which, got a little piece of popcorn stuck in there, which, it was kind of funny. You had a sequel to a movie that never became a movie, but this particular Goonies video game, the only way it made stateside was in a cabinet. It was either in a regular arcade cabinet or it was in one of those player top 10 choice. But, this also has, it has Back to the Future from the LJN library. It has Q*bert. It has, it has a lot of great stuff, a lot of classic stuff. So, and I found this at the mall from a vendor for $45, and I was told that, it is a bootleg. And you know what? People are probably right that it is a bootleg, but I find it enjoyable. So now, without further ado, let's check this bad Oscar out, shall we? All right, now, here we are. Here's the unit itself. It comes in different colors. I chose the black color, but it's really cool. It's very, look at how, it looks like an old Game Boy, but look at how much this fits in your hand. You can almost put this in your pocket. And it also comes with, it has a thing right here where you could put a USB cord to charge it. And it also has, right here, you could also hook it up to your TV, so you could play the games right there on your TV. But let's see what this has to offer. The menu screen has it where you could have it in English or Chinese. So we're going to go with English. And as you can see, I don't know if you could see that or not. Oh wait, let me bring it up to the camera. It has 401. You got Super Mario, Mario 14, Mario 3, Dr. Mario, Mario Brothers, Ninja Turtles, which is the original TMNT. And it's got Contra and Contra Force, Contra 7, Legend of Cage, Jackal, Russian Attack, Adventure Island, Chip and Dale. It sometimes is repetitive too. It's got almost the same game. 400 ways. But Ninja Gaiden 2 is on here, Double Dragon 2, Double Dragon 3, RoboCop. Let's go ahead and check out what this thing has to offer. Let's see, Cage, yeah, Legend of Cage. Let's see, it's got Burger Time. Let's check out Burger Time. Or wait, hold on. Let's see what else this has. Well, there's Donkey Kong. I love the sound, and I also love the graphics right here on Donkey Kong. And you also got a reset button, too. See, there you go. You back to the menu screen, back to English. Just look at this plethora, this selection of games you have. I mean, Defender, Burger Time. I mean, there it is right there. You can't really see it, on the camera, but, there's all kinds of, Excite Bike, Joust. I have the regular unit that you plug into the TV, and it's got almost the same selection of games. But I look at this thing, like I'm about to select a game right here. The classic Popeye, which inspired Mario. Look at that. You could play Popeye. You could play Popeye on the go. How do you like that? But yeah, this unit, like I had said earlier on in the video, the holiday season is once again among us. So if you have that one old school gamer in your life who loves to play video games, would love to have something that he or she could take on the go, go to your local shopping mall, find a vendor that has, you'll see it. You'll see the flat screen TV that's hooked up to the wannabe Nintendo system. And they'll have not only that, but they'll also have these, even get him or her both. And the thing is, it has a built-in battery. It's a rechargeable battery. This looks tempting to where you want to open it. The guy told me never to open it by all means, because this will ruin. This can go ahead and ruin the thing. He says he's got one of his own, and when the battery goes dead, he charges it up for about 30 minutes, and it's got a full charge. And, for a bootleg, I have to say it's not bad. The gameplay, it's fun. The graphics are decent. So I think they really did a good job, with this hack. And, this would be something I actually would take with me on some kind of trip. Like I mentioned before, my, vacation 80, out of town 80s style. Which, by the way, I'm going to redo a video of that, do a reboot, because I didn't like the way it came out. I'm going to keep it on there just for a template, but I wasn't really happy with the final product of it. So there's going to be another one for that. But, oh yeah, I've got all kinds of handhelds that, that I would take with me on the road, like I got this Pac-Man one that I've shown you before. Spider-Man Tiger LCD handheld. Any one of these could be good for a road trip. But I do highly recommend this one, for that gamer in your life. $45, it's worth it, and it's worth the $65 to get the console that you could plug into your TV as well. But, yeah. The holidays are once again among us, or if you're the gamer that wants to spoil yourself after you've gone ahead and bought your Christmas presents for your loved ones, I recommend you go down to your local shopping mall and pick one of these up. It's not bad for something that came from China. It's very enjoyable, very playable. I love it, and I recommend it. Well, it is that time. I had to make a video. I was planning on making this video, and, I got more ahead. I got more track by track videos to make. No telling what I'm going to do. I mean, I got ideas like I'm going to do a track by track of Van Halen for Unlawful Carnal Knowledge versus Kiss Revenge. Maybe Guns N' Roses Use Your Illusion 1 versus Use Your Illusion 2. Sky's the limit, with anything old school. So I'm going to go ahead and leave you with, your old pal Russell J.S. wanting to wish you to keep it real, keep it fresh, keep it chill, play some Atari, play some Nintendo, listen to old school rock that came out of the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000, even 2000s and 2010s, and watch some classic movies, binge watch classic TV, and take care of you and your family. And there's plenty more to come with the weekly narc as well. But this is your old pal Russell J.S. wanting to wish you all, most importantly, Godspeed, and may the force be with you always.